Hey guys, Huzz here, bringing you another video, this time on Caitlyn AD Carry. Now before we get into actually commentating the game, I just want to say a few things. Now sorry for this small delay on this video. I did say I was going to bring it out, I think yesterday, where it's going to come out a day or two late, simply because I've been a bit ill, that type of thing. I'm not going to go into detail, but that's kind of the reason why. And another thing I want to say is I do stream most days when I'm playing League of Legends, and it's twitch.tv/HuzzyGames, same ID as my YouTube channel, so yeah, come check it out, and you'll be able to see me live, and you're going to hear communications, that type of thing. Obviously in videos I don't really share the communications, but yeah, if you come watch the stream you'll be able to hear me and Patsy on Ventrilo talking about what we're doing in a rank game and that type of thing. And when we do rank 5s you'll hear the whole team speak. But yeah, anyway, talking about this game, Caitlyn is one of the most played AD carries in the game, as well as Ezreal, and we actually have an Ezreal, as our lane opponent, and we have Sona versus Blitzcrank as the supports. Now, personally, I think Sona is one of the best supports in the game currently. Her damage is quite high for a support, her sustain is very good, and yeah, she's just generally a nuisance. Obviously, when she gets level 6, the ultimate is very, very good. Combining it with a Caitlyn with the poke, it's a very good lane. And that type of thing. Now, obviously, they have a Blitzcrank, so you would expect them to go for an invade. Unfortunately, TF didn't actually seem he wanted to flash away, so he does give away the first blood. It goes to Malphite, so not a complete loss. You know, if it went to Ezreal or Xerath, that would have been a little bit of a different situation. But obviously, getting 4 assists mean they only get about 50 odd gold, or maybe even less, maybe 30 odd gold per assist. So they wouldn't have benefited a whole lot. Now, if you haven't noticed already, the Elise has giants in her name. Obviously, it's probably a him, but I'm just, for the sake of argument, I'm going to call her because she's playing Elise. It was an ex-Giants member. They did get, or they did leave Giants in 2012 sometime. They were the top lane for Giants at some point, but yeah, they were an ex-professional. I think still part of the Giants community somewhat. Obviously, still having the name Giants would probably indicate that. But yeah, I've played with a few professionals in my time. Probably most of you know Athene. I've played against Athene in mid lane in soloQ, and I beat him quite badly on my Karthus. Yeah, I played against a few professionals. It does feel quite good when you're with a professional against professional. I've also played against MYM Mokati. He was a jungler against me, and I actually got first blood in mid lane, and then I got second blood off him, and got double buffs, and it was a 2v1 situation, so I did pretty good. I was on Lux in that game from memory, and yeah, I felt really happy about myself when I kind of pulled that off. But yeah, this game is a quite decent game. I am actually starting to AD carry a bit more often, simply because me and Patsy, when we duo queue, because we're a fairly similar rating now, we always are 4th and 5th pick. So we kind of fill the roles, but a lot of the time people want to play mid, they want to play jungle. So it's a lot of time I'm actually, most of the time I'm either top jungle or AD carry. I'm hardly ever mid. Obviously, it is my main role, but it's probably the role I play least. Obviously, support I will play, less. But of the roles I actually play, which is all 4 apart from support, I play my main role the least, which is a bit of a bummer. But I understand why. If you're first pick and, or even your second pick, you're going to probably pick mid if you do play mid yourself. Now, this lane of how you want to play it is a bit cautious early on against the Blitzcrank. Obviously, having that grab and that early damage with an Ezreal can be a bit devastating against, a Sona. Sona is very squishy early on. And now, quickly, I also want to point out that the Blitzcrank's name is Wild Turtle V2, but it is actually not Wild Turtle. If you were thinking that, it's just someone, I guess, who wants to be called Wild Turtle or something. I don't really know, but yeah, it's not the actual Wild Turtle. So laning situation, just trying to farm them and trying actually to push them to their tower somewhat. Obviously, it is a bit dangerous if you push them to their tower and get grabbed. But as long as we don't get grabbed, staying behind minions, that type of thing, we're okay. Now, this game we do get somewhat focused. Their Malphite and their Xerath have taken TP. Xerath early TP's bottom lane, which you don't really expect. But I do cleanse the exhaust and his stun, so it's a pretty good idea for me to take cleanse this game. And we do manage to get out successfully. But I do have to burn both summoners, which puts us at quite a disadvantage. Just in lane, if a Blitzcrank lands a grab on me, I'm basically dead. So yeah, I just want to play a bit cautious right now. Taking a skill point in every ability so far, just to have that utility if I need the stun to put down or if I need the E to get away. Obviously always wanting to max Q just for that extra damage with poke. But yeah, it's just generally what I want to do as Caitlyn. I generally do this, on Caitlyn in any lane. Now, I will say one thing about the Elise. The Elise actually makes really good plays, and she probably carries the early game better than anybody. You'll see some plays that she does early on. Obviously, we gave away the first blood with the TF getting grabbed with their invade, but you'll see how the Elise actually makes up for it fairly soon. We do ask for bottom, for some assistance. I just did the ping right there. Unfortunately, Sona does get actually grabbed, but the exhaust going down actually deters them from actually going on us. So it's a flash burn from Sona, but at least it's not a kill. So kind of a worth flash in a way. Just trying to basically make sure we don't die in this lane. Obviously, having that early gank has put us at a disadvantage. But if we don't die, then we're doing pretty well against the Ezreal Blitzcrank lane. As a Sona Caitlyn lane is quite dangerous, but it's a poke lane where an Ezreal Blitz is kind of poke and initiate. If they get the Blitzcrank hook, they will burst you down, as Ezreal can do his full EWQ combo onto you. And the Blitzcrank has general damage himself. Now, the Elise is working her way bottom if you look at the minimap, and here's where you're going to see where Elise starts to do her plays, as well as the TF. Obviously, we do have a TF this game, which is probably the main reason why they have taken TP. So TP comes down on the, or his ultimate comes down, and obviously Ezreal is out of mana. I do believe he has flash, but I don't think that helps him a whole lot. He flashes, and my Q actually picks him up, and he did use flash. So overall, pretty good by us. Now, Xerath has made his way down bottom lane, and I do understand, as I've said in the past, and I still am, I'm a main mid laner, and it is the most annoying thing when a TF goes and ganks a lane, and you literally can't do anything about it. Now, one thing I will say is that Xerath, his TP gank early, it could have worked, but early on I wouldn't really risk it. The reason why people take TP is you can stay in lane for 6, longer. And then you can use your level 6 advantage to go straight into the lane, avoid wards, that type of thing, and gank straight away. Now, obviously, that's what a TF does with his ult, and that's what a TP will do with anyone generally. Now, sorry about that little lag. I don't know what it was. Maybe just Twitch having a little bit of a delay. But yeah, I wouldn't TP gank until level 6, personally, especially on a Xerath, as that's where you get his power with his ultimate. So if he had TP in that situation, that's it. That whole gank would have been a different story. He would have been able to TP straight away to react to the TF, instead of just showing up as soon as the fight finished. So right now I'm 1-0-0, obviously having 1 kill up now, so this is where I start getting a bit more, getting a bit of strength. Obviously, I think the Ezreal is still ahead in CS somewhat, as obviously I have been denied by having both of my summoners, used early on from the Xerath gank, which you could say was a slightly effective play, because it kind of did deny me. But having that kill does give me a little bit of pressure, as at level 6, I do believe we could probably kill these guys if we do actually poke them a little bit before we go in. Obviously, they don't have any sustain. Now, the Elise is coming in for another gank, and here we go. Exhaust has gone down, but he hits a perfect cocoon. And we're going in for another kill onto the Blitz, and boom. I get the kill, so another really good gank by the Elise. And as I said earlier, the Elise does carry us early game somewhat, and she does that, well, she carries the game pretty much throughout. Like, I do pretty good this game myself, but it probably would have been a different situation with the Elise. And that's things you have to admit when you're playing games. It's how you get better. Now, there's not many things I could have done differently in this game playing Caitlyn. Obviously, getting focused somewhat by the Xerath early on, damaged me a little bit. And with them running double TP, we always had to time their teleports. We always had to be a bit cautious when we knew their teleports were up. We had to play a bit more passively than we normally would. As me and Patsy normally play quite an aggressive bot lane. This is why I play Twitch and Draven, that type of thing, when I play AD carry. Now, I just hit level 6, so this means I have my ult, but I am relatively low mana. So I just want to push the wave and probably head to base. Blitzcrank returns to lane. Obviously, we just killed him, so he's just come straight from dying. But as I said, I'm going to go base and probably pick up my tier 2 boots. As picking up your tier 2 boots fairly early against a Blitzcrank lane is actually pretty, I'd advise it quite heavily, as that extra movement speed can make the difference between, avoiding a grab and, getting grabbed. So pick up them quite early, and also going to pick up I believe a pickaxe, which will build into my IE. As I do go IE first item on Caitlyn, obviously picking up that Vamp Scepter, just to have the bit of sustain. As I don't think I built or used lifesteal quints, as I do have that Sona sustain with me, so I went with the flat AD. Now, good play by the mid lane right there. The Elise and TF managed to kill the Xerath, so well played by them. Another play by the Elise, as you'd probably notice, as I do say she is carrying the game right now. Now, Ezreal is in, lane by himself, so we do actually ping missing. I think I pinged it 3 times, and that's generally what I do. If you ping missing once, people may not notice, but if you spam ping, people may notice a bit more. So I think you're about to see, or relatively soon, maybe soon, something that goes a bit wrong. It might not be now, it may be. No, it's not now, so I might have just spoiled it in a bit, but it's not a huge spoiler. It's just something that your team has to kind of pay attention to pings. I know it's relatively new, the whole system. If you've been playing League for 2 or 3 years, the ping system is really new to you. So it does take a while to get used to. If you've only been playing League for like 6 months, then you're probably going to get used to the ping system quicker than us that actually have played League for 2 odd years. So as you see in chat, we actually do time their TPs. Now we don't actually mention in the chat when their exact TPs up because we just have communication on vent, so we don't need to write it down. But as you can see, Sona did actually say in chat they have TPs up. Now, one thing you will probably see throughout this game is constant praise and that type of thing, or you'll see throughout this game, is when someone does something, well, people say good job, or if someone does something bad and people have a little argument, a little tiff, people say stop, or, it's enough, it's fine, something like that. That's generally what happens when your teammates are working together pretty well. Now, we are getting pushed to the tower, which isn't a great situation for us. My ideal situation right now would be having it in middle of the lane. You can see right at the bottom left of the screen, if you can notice, Ezreal is actually basing. You can just, see the rings of him basing back. Going to push the wave as quick as I can while he's in base, trying to deny him a little bit of XP and gold. Going to use my Q to try and push the wave as quick as possible. Now, in mid lane, as you can see, or you're about to see, there is about to be a death, and there it is. You notice Blitzcrank just picked up the kill, and we did, I believe, ping missing. So you're about to see TF in chat go, wow, guys, push the wave. Now, if you notice, we actually are at their tower. So I actually just mentioned it to him that we actually have pushed the bot, and we were actually attacking their tower. Which is, it was truthful. I wasn't, exaggerating. As you can see, the Elise saying, fine, guys, everything's fine. So, as I said, this Elise is pretty damn good. I'll always respect people that are professional. No matter if, your opinion on them, they are professional for a reason or have been professional for a reason. Now, if you see in the bottom lane, the Nautilus is in our lane. And we can see that by a ward. Now, the Blitzcrank is trying to be sneaky and trying to clear all my traps so the Nautilus doesn't accidentally walk into one. But what they don't know, we have a ward in that bush. So that's basically, we're wasting the Nautilus's time. We're not overextending. We're not going to push out. We're just going to farm under tower and waste the Nautilus's time. Now, we can see him leaving right now, which does enable us to actually start pushing the wave somewhat. So I'm going to start pushing it out because, well, generally you don't actually think once a jungler leaves the lane, after about 10 seconds, it's kind of unlikely that they're going to return. TF ult coming down. Now, the Ezreal does E and actually flash. Now, it's unfortunate that the TF didn't continue to go for the Ezreal there. Now, the Xerath does actually use his TP. Now, this is a situation that should have gone bad for us, but as you can see, we're actually killing them really easily. And I actually don't know how we're doing this. There was quite a lot of minion build-up, but still, we're doing so much damage to them. It was unreal. We killed the Blitzcrank, I believe it was, really quickly. The Nautilus was really low. The Xerath was really low. Now, I used my ult there and don't understand how he would have lived. I think the Nautilus actually blocked it. The Elise moving in to try and clean does pick up the Nautilus, but unfortunately the Xerath does survive. Now, that's one thing I will say about Caitlyn ults. They are really off-putting in a way. As soon as you see a Caitlyn ult and you think someone's going to kill it, normally people back off because you don't really want to KS it if a Caitlyn's going to get the kill. But you'll see multiple times in this game, I use my Caitlyn ult and I don't get the kill. Simply because they use a shield, they get healed, or someone blocks it, that type of thing, when that person might have died anyway. So I will say, unless you're 100% sure that the Caitlyn is going to get the kill, always try and just get that extra bit of damage just to secure it, because it's better, securing a kill than, not having it. Because in that situation, the Elise, if she continued going for that Xerath, she probably would have killed the Xerath, and she probably would have killed the Nautilus. So things like that you could just push the advantages even more. Now, right now we've not really turned the game, we've been ahead somewhat this game, apart from the first blood early. I'm 3-0-0 with 101 CS at 15 minutes. Not the greatest CS score, but several things have happened. Obviously playing passive, a little bit more normally than I would. Obviously got a blue buff now, so this does allow me to poke a little bit more with Q if I manage to. Farming the wave under tower. Now, I don't want it under tower right now, as I am fairly strong. Got my BF sword, so I do actually want to push the wave. So going to push that with Q, and going to start pushing the wave somewhat. Now we do ping missing, we don't know where Blitzcrank is. Fairly risky of me just face checking that bush there. I wouldn't really recommend face checking bushes a lot of the time. But as I said, we are fairly stronger. Now Ezreal does have a level on me, but I am items ahead. I have more damage than him, I believe. And my Sona with that ult can distract them somewhat. Obviously, she doesn't have ult right now, but she will probably have it soon. Now, I dodged the hook fairly easily. Honestly, I find dodging hooks fairly easily. I find them quite predictable, especially if it's a Thresh. Dodging a Thresh hook is pretty damn easy, unless, it's LOS out of vision. Because, he has a wind-up before he does it. So it's really easy to actually know when he's going to hook. And majority of the time, they always just hook where you are right now. So if you just literally take a step to your right or left, you're normally going to just dodge it. Now we are pushing somewhat, which I don't really like. So we're just going to head back. I'm going to go do the wolves. I'm fairly close to my E, about 300 gold away. So I want to pick that up as quick as I can. And that will give me a lot of power in lane. Now, top lane, I do believe they got a kill, and they're also going to push the tower. Now, Malf is just used his ult top. If you see in the minimap, you can see the wet red swirly thing. So now we know that Malf doesn't have TP. So that gives us even more freedom at bot lane. Now, we don't... With their Xerath, TP may be soon, because obviously he used it in that gank bot lane. But it's a 5-minute cooldown, so that might be up in the next couple of minutes. But that does give us a couple minutes, window, of when to actually, go a bit aggressive, that type of thing. Now, one thing I have to say about bot lane is, you don't have to necessarily always win the lane, or always win the lane by yourself. You can always just, expect jungler ganks to get you ahead, that type of thing. And that's fine. If it works, it works. And that's what we've done this game. We haven't really played amazing this game in ourselves, but we have done pretty damn good, when a gank comes. And obviously, we just got that kill with the gank from TF again, so we've got 2 assists there. And again, no, I think we wouldn't be able to catch it, but with the Sona slow, we are actually going to manage to pick up this Nautilus. Doing a bit of damage. And I do have the ult, and that would be a guaranteed kill. But unfortunately, the red buff that TF picked up does actually secure it. So unfortunately, in that whole thing, I got 3 assists and no kills. But oh well, gold's gold, and it's for the team. So as I said, we haven't actually made many plays by ourselves, but when a gank comes, we actually have played them out pretty good. Obviously, that 4v3 situation, we played that pretty damn well, especially with that Sona ult, I think getting 2 or 3 of them. And myself, just staying out of harm's way, trying to kite as well as I can, using that cleanse at the right times. I've been playing well when the situation comes. Now, what you have to remember, Caitlyn is someone that, you don't go balls deep on. You don't get many kills on her unless, you are really outplaying your opponent. And you have to remember, I'm not a main AD carry. Although it is like one of my main roles, it's not my main role, as such. And my lane opponent, I believe, was Diamond this game. And for all I know, he was probably Diamond. And he was probably he might have been a Diamond AD carry main. So, he should be outplaying me. And at the start, he probably was. With that Xerath gank, he was using that advantage, getting all that CS ahead of me, that type of thing. So, probably that's the reason why we didn't play amazing in this lane, because, hey, going to a lane, I expect to do the best I can, but I expect people probably to outplay me when I'm playing AD carry, because I don't main it, and I might be going against Diamond mains, as I was saying, that do main it. Now, there is a bit of a skirmish going on, and obviously TF did just die to 3 of them. Bot lane was missing for some time. I did ping twice that they were missing, but it didn't really help them. It was too late. Now, Ezreal is bot lane, but I'm going to head back and start building my Zeal as I go for PD next item. Pretty good, good item on Caitlyn. Now, some people go Static Shiv, some people go PD. It's personal choice, honestly. People say one's better than the other. I don't think that one's better than the other. I think it's all personal choice. If you want something that's a little bit more pokey, then go static, static shiv. If you want something that you can avoid all minion collision, you get a little bit more movement speed. I think it's 2% more, but that might be static shiv. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, I just prefer PD over shiv. It's just personal choice, and I'll probably always build shiv over it. Now, one thing I will say is probably expect a few more AD carry commentaries, as I am really, really enjoying the role right now. I don't think I have a Draven one up on the channel, so I'm going to try and get one of them up, as I am really enjoying, well, as I said, I'm enjoying AD carry, and Draven used to be one of my AD carries that I used to play all the time. Whenever I played AD, I always used to play Draven. Well, that's kind of turned into Twitch, but I will probably play a Draven game just to have a commentary of it. Dragon's about to spawn, so we are about to do this. Got the exact timer. So, yeah, we're going to do this fairly quickly. I actually get the last hit. And maybe the opponents are looking for a team fight. Now, look at my positioning. If I paused it right now, which I'm not going to as it's a live commentary, you'll see my positioning is spot on. I'm right at the back of my team, out of harm's way completely, so their tanks can't engage on me. Now, the Malphite does ult me, but look where their team is. Nowhere near me. The Malphite ult does not work at all. He basically gets me and TF by himself. He has no damage by himself. Now, you can say this teamfight I don't do a whole lot, but I do survive. And that's the main thing you have to do as an AD carry. There's no good if I ran in with my team and just died. What's the use in that? I'm still, alive, and I still have pressure. And now we're going to have tower pressure, that type of thing, where otherwise if I died, we're going to have less tower pressure, as I'm the main damage dealer to turrets and objectives, that type of thing. So pretty well placed by myself, not going to be cocky, that type of thing, it's just a fact. Placing myself in that position, way out of harm's way, the Malphite had to run through all my team and ult me and TF by himself, so there was no follow-up damage. It worked perfectly for us, that team fight. Although we didn't kill all of them, it worked really well. So that's actually given us tower for their base. Now, we don't want to be greedy. Always take what you can. And we just took that tower. We're not going to go for their inhib yet. So, yeah, really well played by my team. As I said, this game, my team plays really, really well together. Now, that's one thing I want to say about soloQ. Some people hate it. Some people love it. Now, personally, I've not really met someone that loves soloQ as such, but I know they exist. But I'm someone that likes soloQ, and some people think I'm crazy. Some people, like one person, and he probably will watch this video, is Eben, our top laner. He does not play soloQ. He really dislikes it. And I understand why people don't like it. You could meet trolls and that type of thing, but that's that's only 10% of the games. That's less than well, maybe on my elo it's less, but it's hardly anything that actually people troll. But you get experiences like this that feel really good when your team just clicks and you're all randomers, or 3 of you are randomers, because obviously I'm pre-made most of the time, I will admit that, but it's really a nice feeling when you can go into a game with people you don't know and you just click, everything works, everybody's doing well, and you're having a good time. It just really feels good in soloQ. Obviously, I will admit, I do prefer rank 5s to soloQ, as I'm playing with my friends. And I will quickly say about that, we are still looking for a support. Now, I do have a couple people lined up for tryouts, which I probably will try out. But if you do want to have a go, send me a private message, that type of thing. Give me your credentials. And if I think you're, up for the task, I'll send you a message back, or that type of thing. But you just include your rating, your experience in ranked 5s, any tournament experience. And you're going to have to be a support main. Minimum gold, preferred platinum. But yeah, we'll take people in gold, no problem. But yeah, no people in bronze or silver. Now, I'm not trying to be elitist, but being higher elo and soloQ to me just shows you have a bit more commitment. Now, you could argue that Eben isn't gold, but I know Eben is at least a gold skill level if he did play soloQ, where in a random person, I don't really know that. So thanks again for, people that do wish to, become my support. If I don't choose you, don't be offended. We do have quite a niche, people that we speak, if that was even good English grammar, because we are people that like to have a joke, and we are people that like to play other games. Currently I am playing Marvel Heroes, just come out, pretty good game. Now my team is actually pushing mid. Now look at the damage on Nautilus. So that's supposedly their tank, and that was 1 gold card, a bit of damage from Sona, a bit of damage from Elise, and he's basically dead. He had to use his flash, and now Nautilus doesn't have flash. He won't be able to flash and auto attack me for the his passive stun, or he won't be able to flash and use ult on me, that type of thing. Good situation by us and well played by my team. Now we are actually getting Baron pressure right now. We're surrounding the Baron. We are looking to see if we can do anything. TF may be ulting. He actually decides not to, as we do catch the Malphite with the Elise cocoon. So really well played by the Elise. Now I do finally get a kill with Caitlyn ult. Thank God for that. I thought I was never going to get one. Managed to pick one up on the Malphite. And yeah, gonna continue just owning their faces, and I pick up a double kill. So right now I'm 604. Pretty good score by myself right now. 172 farm at 25 minutes, which is okay. Obviously, the stage of the game is, focusing less on farming, more on grouping and team fighting. Still trying to CS every now and then. Obviously, probably taking the majority of the CS that comes our way. Now, probably going to get some tower damage on. Not pretty too much. I don't think we actually take a tower here, or we might actually take one. We do take one, it seems. But yeah, I don't think we take both. I can't really remember. This game was, I think, 3-4 days ago. So yeah, we pick up one. We do pick up another kill on the Blitzcrank. And yeah, we just head out. Now, we do actually think they might actually try Baron, because we are fairly low, that type of thing. But they are one man down. So we're going to, keep them around. We're going to keep one person around, I think. And then the rest of us are going to base. And you can see in chat, Sona says they might rush Baron. Elise says, I'll stay. So she does have the smite just in case. I do believe she's a level ahead of the Nautilus, or level or 2 ahead, which gives her increased smite damage. So that might be the the difference if they did go for Baron. They don't go for Baron, which is good for us. So it gives us time to basically just go back, buy. I do pick up a pickaxe, going to start building my Last Whisper. But there is a farm bottom lane, but right now I don't really care if that tier 1 tower bot lane goes. It's more important to be with my team at this stage of the game. So I'm deciding to sacrifice that tower and CS and just go with my team. And these things you have to decide or make decisions once you're playing AD carry. Now we do get some damage. I used the ult on Caitlyn not to get the kill. It would have been great if I got the kill, but it was basically just to get the damage onto the Blitzcrank, just so he would die from the Caitlyn. From the Irelia, sorry. Now I do pick up the kill on Xerath, and also trying to pick up any other kills that we can. I failed my witty over the wall. Obviously can't jump that wall, unfortunately. Stun onto the Nautilus that Irelia obviously has once the percentage of health switches. Seeing if we can kill anybody else. I don't think we do. Just pressuring their base a bit more. Obviously they only have one Nexus tower left, and they have 2 or 3 people dead. A flash stun from the Elise there. Don't think we pick up the kill, but still pretty well played by the Elise. Now, they're having a little bit of fight there, but I can't be bothered. I just want to finish the game, win the game, and yeah, just basically finish. Now, the Xerath, I think, basically just wants to kill me, because I haven't died yet this game. I'm 706, but you're about to see my face absolutely melt. Ready, 3, 2, 1, BAM! And I'm dead. So yeah, a lot of damage by the Xerath there. Unfortunately, I do have 1 death this game. Would have been nice to keep a no-death game, but unfortunately, that Xerath just did way too much damage. I used to use my flash to get away from the Blitzcrank hook, but I still died anyway. But still, 7-1-8 is a pretty good score. And there's the game. They're about to finish it. So overall, pretty good game, guys. Please sub, rate, subscribe, all that stuff. And remember to check out the stream at HuzzyGames, with Twitch. So yeah, thanks again, and see you next time.